In today's video, we'll talk about the New Jersey housing market and the direction that it is heading. So many of us are so confused with what's actually happening. You've been to the open house lines right here in February 2023, all over Bergen County, and there are literally lines around the block to get into these open houses. Why is that? Well, it's going to be all about supply and demand, and I'm going to tell you about both of those and the factors that affect them in this video. So stick around for the entire video. I'm going to fill you in. It's going to be a great lesson, and it's really going to help you get oriented. That way you know exactly what's going on if you're interested in buying a house right here in New Jersey, Bergen County specifically, in 2023. My name is Tyler Sellers from Two Win Realty, and I respect your time, so I'll keep this brief. First thing I want to show you to help you get your bearings straight is this inventory chart. This is single family residential inventory for Bergen County from 2019 all the way up to today. And as you can see, we had 3,398 homes in the peak of 2019. That was May. And now we are sitting at a little tiny 682 homes available on the market. The thing that shocks me about this graph is that when I first got in the business in 2019, people were already screaming real estate crash. Crash, crash, crash. That's all I heard. This was before COVID. Nobody knew about any of that stuff. And we can see that we had 3,398 homes on the market. They were saying that that was low inventory, which is crazy. That was a seller's market. And this, what we're still in today, is a hotter seller's market. So keep that in mind, because this graph right here is the telltale sign that we do not have a buyer's market anywhere in sight on the supply side. So what about the demand side? Can the demand decrease so significantly that there's no more buyers in the market, and all of a sudden we have a buyer's market where you can negotiate the sale price? Well, I want to show you the mortgage interest rates over time. We can see here that the average interest rate in America since 1971 is 7.75%, and today's interest rates are at 6.78%. So we're still under the average interest rate for the long term. But what I worry about is interest rates getting so freaking high that buyers actually say, no, I'm not paying for this house. The problem that we face is that there's no inventory on the market. So if we're in a town, let's take Maywood for an example, where right now on February 16th, there is one available home on the market. If I list a home in Maywood, look, Maywood's a hot town. It's an awesome town. It's hard to get into. Well, there's going to be a lot of buyers for that town. And at today's current interest rates of 6.78%, there will be enough buyers that everybody bids on the listing that I put up. And even if I price it fairly at fair market value, it's going to sell for over asking, because there's so many people who want the one house that's available on the market. Everybody wants to get into real estate, regardless of what you're hearing and people being scared of a market crash. Everybody knows that it's better to own a home than to be renting a home. And that brings me into this chart that we have right here. This is the median sold price for Bergen County homes over time. The same exact timeline of the inventory graph that I just showed you. This is actually pulled from the same data set, the New Jersey MLS data set. If I'm looking at this chart, I can see when I started real estate in 2019, we were down here, people were calling the top. And boy, were they super wrong, because the top back here was $518,000 median sold price in Bergen County. And the top that we saw last year in 2022 is $720,000. That took place in June. The thing that's a little shaky right now, and everything's not really adding up, is that here in January, our median sold price dropped 22% from that top. That's a big drop, all the way down to $590,000. Now, keep in mind that is the dead of winter. New Jersey real estate is extremely cyclical, as you can see here. All the peaks are always in June and July. 518, 610, 658, 720. And all the valleys are always in November through February. 480, 565, 595, 590. That's lower than last year. So when I see that, I definitely realize that interest rates are affecting the housing market, even though we have a tighter supply squeeze. The question is, what factors can bring more supply on the market? Clearly, buyer demand is down because we have less supply than we did last year, and we have higher interest rates, and we have lower median sold prices. So demand is definitely down, supply is down too. So the question is, what can actually bring up that supply squeeze that we're facing right now? How can we get more supply on the market? There's a couple of things. And right now, a lot of listings that I see coming to the market, I hate to say it, it's divorcee sales, it's estate sales where somebody died and passed the house down. So we're really just getting the absolute necessary sales hitting the market. We're seeing no voluntary selling in the area. What would cause voluntary selling? Well, we would need more unemployment. People would have to lose their jobs and not be able to pay their mortgage. That is something I wish on no one. But that would be a voluntary home sale where it's better to sell the home than incur the debt of multiple mortgage payments stacking up and not being able to make those payments. Another instance would be an adjustable rate mortgage where somebody got a mortgage with a 2.5% rate, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, and now it's getting adjusted, but interest rates are so high right now that they can't afford the new payment. Well, in this case, they would voluntarily sell their house so that they can escape the buildup of inevitable debt that they would get themselves into. Another instance would be people looking to downsize, empty nesters who want to get rid of their house. But even there, I'm seeing a problem because they always say there's nowhere for them to move to. And they're quite frankly right. Like, who wants to retire and move into a smaller place that's completely unupdated, needs a full gut? People like to move into turnkey properties. We don't have a lot of them over here because, like I said earlier, we have a lot of 50 to 100-year-old properties in the area. Think to yourself, what are some more triggers that can actually get people to voluntarily sell their homes? I mean, sure, you can dangle the fact that they have $200,000 of equity right in front of them, but if they don't need that, in many cases, especially with all the bigger pockets and information out there, they'll just rather rent the home out. Their payments are so low because they got the home at such a low interest rate so long ago that at today's current rents, they can cash flow on that property very easily. It's hard to rationalize selling a home, especially with the flood of information that we now, as just regular people, have. Real estate investing used to be something for real estate investors. What real estate investing has turned into post 2008 is now real estate investing is for everybody. Real estate actually turned into a common asset class, just like a stock, just like a crypto. You can just buy it and now you're a real estate investor. People didn't have that mindset about real estate before. People had the mindset that I'm buying real estate to live in, to provide me shelter, provide safety and comfort for a life for my family. That is not necessarily the only case anymore. People don't buy real estate exclusively for that reason. People buy real estate because they see their parents have all of their net worth tied up in a piece of real estate. So if I buy real estate now and I hold it for 40 years, maybe I'll be all right when it's all said and done. And, I need money to retire. So this is the reality of the situation, people. Everybody just tries to simplify it so much. It is not that simple. It will continue to get harder and harder to buy a home. There's been rumors that America wants to be a nation of renters. Well, as each day ticks past and I don't see that number of inventory coming up on the market, I start to believe that it really might be a reality. So if you're interested in buying a home, I'd consider getting in now. The other side of this equation is that the demand would have to be so killed if supply isn't coming up on its own that literally nobody wants to buy real estate anymore. And even still, supply has to come up so high from decreased demand. What would kill demand? Well, we could have higher inflation, which would increase interest rates over time. Maybe we have sustained high interest rates. But even then, as long as interest rates are consistent and not volatile, our median home price is going to continue going up. Other things that can affect demand are obviously massive layoffs, unemployment, and we're not really seeing that, even though the federal funds rate just keeps on ticking higher. February's inflation report for the January inflation was absolutely abysmal, but hey, the stock market's rallying, the crypto market's rallying. People don't seem to care. People are going to keep on spending money, so it's up to you. Do you want to keep on renting for another 5 to 6 years until we have a slight pullback in the housing market? Maybe. Or would you rather just own real estate now, know what you're in for on a fixed monthly payment, and live your life around that. Guys, my name is Tyler Sellers. I really appreciate you watching this video. I hope you got something from it. I'm just trying to give it to you as real as possible. Look, it ain't easy out there. I get it. I see it. I know it. I have buyers myself who have both bought homes because they're willing to take the leap, and buyers who have not bought homes and they're still wondering if home prices are ever going to come down, if interest rates are ever going to come down. Look, if you're in the market, be in the market. If you're out of the market, stay out of it. 2Win Realty, Tyler Sellers. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. I'm here. I'll be back next month with another market report. Check out my town videos if you're interested in moving to the area. I'm just going to try to keep it real with you guys because real estate is a crazy, crazy world, especially in 2023. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you guys in the next video.